big show. So big.
The Big Show. Kiss 92.
Good morning, Singapore. We are live on Facebook as well as YouTube, and we have a very special guest this morning. She is Carrie Tan, who is a transformative coach and co-author, and we're going to be talking about a book today, a new book on decision making and the human mind. And we're also talking about micro moments.
Exactly.
It's called micro moments, right?
Yes.
Carrie.
So let's just find out first and foremost, when you say micro moments, what exactly are micro moments?
Is the moments that you don't notice in your brain, in your mind, before you do everything.
Oh, okay. If you don't notice, then how will you know they are there if you don't notice them?
Well, they're there because there's a layup to every single reaction, response, decision that you make. It's just that it happens so quickly that you don't notice it. So technically, most people are just running on autopilot mode.
Ah, okay.
They're like auto-scripted.
Right.
This must be because of your time in public service, I think. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Carrie was also MP for Nisun. For how many years?
5 years, I did a term.
5 years. Well, it's
All
the
right.
hardest thing in the world being an MP, I think. It's not easy. It's
There are
not
moments.
easy.
There are moments.
There are many moments.
and an eternity of micro moments, I'm sure. We'll be covering those in just a little bit, but we also want to drive people to your website, which is www.micromoments-intl.com. Congratulations on your new book, by the way.
Thank you.
Was it a long time coming? When did you think, oh, maybe this is a book that I want to do, and how long ago did it start the journey?
Actually, like Andres and I, my co-author, we got the book out pretty pronto. We decided that first of all, we knew each other in September 2024. We met and we discussed and we realized that we have this affinity and we have this common knowledge between us, but we have just very different languages and vocabulary to articulate that knowledge. And we're like, oh, maybe if we wrote a book together, the people who like the woo-woo language,
The woo-woo-woo language?
right? Because I'm like intuitive, and Andres is like a cognitive science business professor. So he's like, wow, everything is empirical, da 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 da. I'm like, I don't know how to express what I do in those words. So we figured that if we combined, then it would make something that is usually quite intuitive or intangible, or maybe some people even say esoteric, help it to give it a language. And I think that was my discovery when I started working on the book with Andreas. Like, I gained the scientific vocabulary to finally be able to explain what is it that I do. Like, what is this micro moments? I'm like, oh, before that I would say, it's just that you have things in your subconscious.
It's your thoughts lah. You got many thoughts lah. The small thoughts, the big thoughts, the fast thoughts. All before you do things is the thoughts lah. That's how I would have done it.
Exactly. So it's very limited. Like, other than saying thoughts,
Yeah.
you can't really explain it very well. But now I have I can tell you about default network system.
Oh wow.
Default mode network. That's in your brain.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But what's one micro moment in your life, perhaps, that changed the trajectory, let's say?
Oh, there were many, but I think the one that I would be most happy to share is related to love, because I think people want that in their lives. So it was when I first started dating my husband. This was like in 2018. And I remember it so clearly. I remember that moment when in my mind I was like, this is too good to be true. That was like that moment, this is too good to be true. And I had to stop myself because I knew I was going to sabotage it. I was going to like ghost him and like, this is too good to be true. It's not possible to meet a man like that. He's too perfect. Not possible, right?
Okay.
So, but I was telling myself, why do you not believe it?
Yeah.
What's there to not believe? Why don't you just take a leap of faith and maybe it's possible? So that was my micro moment. I actually was on the verge of really sabotaging myself out of this
But did it
relationship.
stem from perhaps maybe some hurt in the past? And that's the reason why you're so, maybe you didn't want to be disappointed again.
Yeah.
Because I'm going through that.
You're absolutely right, Glenn. I think every time we get our hearts broken, every time we feel a little bit like there's a chip in our heart from a hurt, it reinforces certain beliefs that might have been there that was generated from some experience long time ago.
Right.
So maybe you were like 9 years old and then you liked, I don't know, 9 years old for girls, we had a crush on a boy or something, and then the boy just ignored us and we were like, oh, maybe at that moment when we were 9, we had this learning, even though it wasn't articulated this well, that it's not good to express how you feel, right? You will get rejected, right? So then when that thought gets planted over the years, our brain starts registering all the little moments that reaffirms that. And over time, it just becomes a script.
Right.
And then by the time we're 40 or 32 or 55, you're like, it's not good to express yourself. You're going to get hurt. And then you're going to come across like so many missed opportunities where maybe somebody liked you back, but you just never made the move.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Let's
right.
continue to talk to Carrie on the Big Show TV, shall we? Meantime, here's Benson Boone with Beautiful Things on Kiss 92.
All right, so I just want to clarify, when it comes to micro moments, there is a difference between micro moments and micro actions, right? Because having a moment doesn't necessarily mean it's a period that you will do something about it. It is just an experience. Because a micro moment does not necessarily lead to action. If anything, it can stop you from doing anything.
Exactly. So the micro moments the micro moments drive what you decide to do or not do. So for a lot of people, actually, the micro moments hold them back.
Okay.
Right? They don't do something, they hold back, they hesitate, they don't speak up in the meeting. Right? Because in their mind, something has happened in a split second
Okay.
to say this is not safe, or I'm going to look stupid,
Yeah.
or people are going to disagree, it's going to be scary, and we don't speak.
Yeah.
So you're right. Many of these micro moments actually turn into inaction.
Okay. All right. So the reason why I want to ask you that is just because, if you don't mind, I want to touch on another personal part of your life, because I was checking out your Wikipedia, and if this is wrong, please correct me. Okay?
Wikipedia?
Wikipedia. I have to Wikipedia, I guess, right? And it said, was it a couple of years ago? There was a proposal.
Oh, yes.
Okay. It was an unconventional proposal, because rather than the guy proposing to the girl, it was the girl proposing to the guy.
Oh.
So you proposed to your fiance at the time. Now, at the time, was there a little bit of a hesitation, a micro moment, deciding to actually be the one to make the proposal?
Actually, you know what? I have to credit my self-work this past 5 years for that level of awareness, when I can tell every time my brain's telling me not to do something, I'll just tell it to shut up. I'll be like, what's wrong with doing this? It's going to be fine. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
Right? And I just went ahead. So I have very little, I think comparatively, I have a lot less hesitance to do a lot of things than most people.
Okay. And
So-
also compared to maybe you 10 years ago.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. I think the great thing about knowing your micro moments and being able to override it is that you just have so much more fun in life. Like, I'm having a lot more fun in life when I'm not held back by my fears, my hesitance, my fear of judgment. But okay, to be honest, the past 5 years, I had to be very conscious about that as well. So it wasn't like just me overriding my micro moments. I had to be very conscious that my actions or inactions would have implications on others. So, yeah.
Okay.
I think this is a very interesting book.
Yeah.
It'll help a lot of people. I mean, what are the main things you think people are going to, get out of this book, Carrie?
Right. Andres and I, we wrote this book to angle it more towards leadership and business executives, because we see that there's so many sabotages happening in people's minds. And when you're a leader in an organization, like, everybody has got a sabotage cycle, right? Like, everybody has this micro moments that stop us or cloud our judgment on a daily basis. But leaders of organizations have just so much more impact on other people than, I mean, if you're a kakia and then you're just doing your job and then you have a micro moment and then you sabotage yourself, your impact is just on your task. But if, like, a CEO has got micro moments that are creating errors in judgment or making them overcompensate for certain things, it cascades down. Like I think what's relatable is people with bosses who are like, micromanagers.
Yep.
Right? Usually they're okay, and then suddenly they start breathing down your neck.
Yeah.
Or like suddenly there's more things that needs to be done, and this work just piles up, and then something urgent comes, and this thing suddenly becomes urgent, and all that kind of stuff.
Very irritating.
Yes, and it creates a lot of stress for people, right? And a lot of
Absolutely.
this stress they actually stand from leaders' micro moments.
Right.
Because they don't realize that they're going into a script and they're going into a survival or a coping mechanism that has cascading effects on people working for them.
But to be fair, I mean, as a leader, as a CEO, when you make a mistake, there's a lot more at stake. Right? So, I mean, perhaps that is one of the reasons why they dwell on their micro moments a little bit more. Because, if you are, like you mentioned in your words, a kakia, right? Okay, maybe, I don't have to be so careful, right? I don't have to stay and overanalyze my decisions. But when you're at the top and you're responsible for so many more things and so many more people as a result, that could be a reason why they dwell on their micro moments.
So the thing is, people don't dwell on their micro moments enough. They don't even realize it's happening. They're just caught in the wave of it without realizing that, hey, I'm suddenly feeling like this needs to be urgent because I'm suddenly feeling that I need to prove myself. They don't realize this is all unconscious. You don't realize until you do the work of sitting down and pausing and learning how to observe your own mind.
Okay.
So most people are just running a script, they're just reacting. They think that they are making rational decisions, but that rational decision, what I would describe, is within the matrix of their scripted operating system.
Okay.
Right. So I mean, you've spoken to Andreas on many occasions, I'm sure, about leadership and so on. In his opinion, what is a good leader?
Oh, he has another book. His first book was called Escape from System 1. So plug for Andreas' first book, right?
Okay.
Escape from System 1. And he would say a good leader knows to pause. To just pause. And it's not just Andreas. I mean, from the kind of training I come from, we talk about the mindful breath.
What is a mindful breath? Oh,
Okay,
well,
let's
talk
go
about
on
that
and talk
on air.
about the
Okay.
mindful breath.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the TPE towards the PIE, an accident after Pasir Ris Drive 8. Please avoid lane 2. On the PIE towards Tuas, a vehicle breakdown at the CTE City exit. CTE towards AYE, another breakdown after the PIE Tuas exit. Wow, tow trucks are making lots of money today. Bukit Timah Road towards the city, heavy traffic as well between Kampong Java Road and Chancery Lane. Drive safe wherever you are.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning is Carrie Tan, Transformative Coach and Co-author of a book on decision making and the human mind called Micro Moments. Now, who's your co-author again?
Professor Andreas Rahaso.
Tell us a little bit more about him. And as I was asking you earlier on, Carrie, in Andreas's opinion, what makes a good leader?
Yeah. And his answer, I think, would be a good leader knows to pause.
Okay.
He actually came up with this term, the 1 minute reality reset, which I think is beautiful. It's like so catchy, 1 minute reality reset. I call it the mindful breath. You see the way we talk about things is the same thing, but we talk about it in such different terms. And it's really the ability to just pause. And the breath is so important because as you take that breath, it interrupts the circuitry. It interrupts the script that your brain typically just runs automatically because it's been primed to do so. It's the most efficient way to operate, right? Because every day we are like seeing so many things, and if you had to reinterpret every single thing every day, you'd be so exhausted. You'll be so exhausted. We'll be so exhausted. So the brain just falls back on what it already knows, right? And when there is time pressure, when you need to make a decision under pressure, and you just make it, you're literally running the same playbook. But when you take a pause and you just sit and you just let your mind percolate and you ask, is there something different I can do in this moment? Then you're priming your brain to, get a different signal. Like, don't do the same habitual thing, because who was it that said you doing something the same time to try and get a different outcome is just insanity?
Yeah.
Einstein,
Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
Exactly.
Okay, but do you think, yes, everything you've said definitely makes sense. And I'm sure lots of people have been reminded once in a while to pause and think about what they're doing. But that's going to be particularly hard, especially for Singaporeans, because we live in such a fast-paced society. Everything is next, do. Don't waste time. Time is of the essence. So that makes it particularly tough for Singaporeans, though, yes?
It is. We are very, very much conditioned to get things done, and we have this narrative of efficiency. But what I want to invite people to think about efficiency, not just about getting things done quickly, that you can actually have more efficiency when there's more clarity. And sometimes taking a bit more time to establish clarity gets you far better outcomes than if you just went and rushed into things, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just, we've just been conditioned again, when you say efficient, you think quick, right? But what if I say efficient means you're clear? And what if to be clear, you need to pause,
Yeah.
right? There's just a different playbook.
Right.
But you see, like, it's almost so automatic, right? The efficient people, like, okay, quick, fast.
Yeah.
But that's not the only way to live. That's
All
not
right.
the only way towards efficiency.
So bosses, if you see your staff, just pausing at their desk, they're not slacking off, they're taking a mindful breath. And you should be more aware of that as well and understanding.
I love it. I love that. How I'm having a micro moment. Like, is he implying that people can get away with some daydreaming at work, and for which I'm totally a proponent of? Like, you need to daydream more. We should all daydream more so that we can create new things, create new possibilities in our life, in our work, in our performance, in our everything, right? Because the world's changing so fast.
It is.
Your
It
old
is.
playbook doesn't work anymore.
Now, before we let you go, Carrie, your book just launched, obviously, in April, and we hear that you'll be doing an incredible panel at the National Library. When is that happening?
11th July.
11th of July. Now, what's been the most surprising reaction or story you've heard from your readers so far?
Well, I've had gratifying responses. I wouldn't say surprising, because we totally expected this kind of results. Otherwise, we wouldn't have written the book. But I think what was most gratifying was this guy who said that I didn't know that I was telling myself stories all the time. And now that I do, I pause and I ask myself, is this real, or am I just making it up in my head? And I think that's a beautiful breakthrough. Like, if you start asking yourself that question in your life when you're making decisions, you're going to see different outcomes.
All right. It's all about opening yourself up, pausing for a cause, and I guess really getting to know yourself a little bit better as well.
Yeah.
Or relearning yourself, because I think a lot of people forget that you change as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wish we had more time with Carrie. I think we could probably talk to Carrie for the next, another half an hour or something like
Absolutely.
that. But we've run out of time. Just a reminder once again to join Carrie on the 11th of July, right? At
Yes.
the National Library. Well, thank you so much. It's been nice meeting you and chatting with you, Carrie.
It's really nice. And I wish we could talk more as well. More moments together.
Yes. More micro moments and hopefully more major moments too.
Let's go out for a coffee one of these days. How about that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, have a nice day, Carrie.
You too.
Go big or go home.